Welcome back to our Tarot series. In this class, we're stepping into the Suit of the Pentacles, and I want to begin by saying something very clear. Pentacles is not just about money. Although this is the first association people make with this suit, yes, the Pentacles can absolutely speak of finances, income, work, business, resources, and material success. But this suit goes much deeper than what is in your wallet or your bank account. The Pentacles are about the physical life that you are building. They speak to your home, your body, your career, your habits, your stability, your relationship with time, your relationship with effort, and your relationship with value. The Pentacles ask, can your life actually hold you? Can your choices sustain you? Are you building something stable and solid, or are you trying to grow from unstable ground? This is a suit of reality, not fantasy, not wishful thinking, not quick emotional reaction. Pentacles deal with what can be touched, grown, maintained, protected, and sustained. And here is a deeper truth about this suit. The Pentacles is not only about what you have, they also ask what you believe that you are allowed to have. They bring us face to face with questions of worth. Do I believe I deserve stability? Do I believe that I can receive support? Do I trust myself to manage what comes in? Do I sabotage what I say that I want? Do I know the difference between surviving and truly building? When the Pentacles appear in a reading, they often show us the practical layers of life: money patterns, work patterns, health patterns, home patterns, and long-term consequences. But underneath that, they also show us where our beliefs, habits, and choices are either helping us grow or keeping us stuck. This suit reminds us that manifestation requires maintenance. A seed may be planted with intention, but it still needs soil, water, tending, patience, protection, and time. That is the lesson of the Pentacles. Pentacles teach us that the spiritual and practical are not separate. The way we manage our resources, care for our bodies, honor our time, and build stability is a part of our magic. So when the Pentacle cards appear, ask what is showing up about my life. Am I creating, maintaining, and allowing myself to receive? The Suit of Pentacles teaches us that abundance is not just about having more. It's about knowing what has value, honoring what we already have, and learning how to sustain what we receive. The deeper lesson of the Pentacles is this: a grounded life is a magical life. What we nurture with patience and respect has power to grow into something lasting. The element connected to the Pentacles is Earth. Earth energy is grounded, practical, steady, patient, and tangible. It is the element of the body, the home, the land, the harvest, the workbench, the garden, and the foundation. Earth does not rush, it builds. This can be comforting, but it can also be confronting, because the Pentacles often ask us to look honestly at what we're doing day after day. They ask us to examine our habits. They ask us whether our actions match our desires. They ask us whether we are tending to our lives with consistency or only reacting when something feels urgent. In readings, Pentacles may point to finances, career, property, physical health, family responsibilities, daily routines, long-term goals, education, business, and material security. They also speak to confidence, self-worth, and whether someone feels safe enough to receive. The life lesson of the Suit of Pentacles is this: what you consistently tend to will grow, but what you neglect will reveal itself. Manifestations need more than just intention. It needs a place to land. The Suit of Pentacles teaches us that dreams can become real through structure, planning, routine, resources, and consistent action. Structure does not limit magic. It gives magic form. The Ace of Pentacles represents a new seed in the material world. This may be a new job, a new financial opportunity, a business idea, a health commitment, a home project, or a fresh chance to create more stability. When this card appears, it's not the full harvest, it is the seed. It shows potential, but the potential still requires action. The Ace of Pentacles says, here is the opportunity. Now what will you do with it? In the upright themes or upright position, it represents new opportunities, financial potential, grounding, manifestation, prosperity, stability beginning, planting a seed, and partial growth. In the shadow theme or reversed position, it represents missed opportunity, fear of beginning, the lack of follow-through, undervaluing the gift, wanting success without effort, and not recognizing what is being offered. The life lesson of this card is that the blessing is only the beginning. You still have to plant it, tend it, and give it a place to grow. So when you see the Ace of Pentacles, ask, what opportunity is being placed before me, and what practical action will help it take root? The Two of Pentacles is the card of balance, juggling, adjustment, and managing multiple responsibilities. This card often appears when someone's trying to keep everything moving at once. Work, money, family, home, bills, health, emotions, and future plans. This card does not always mean failure or chaos. Sometimes it means flexibility, but it does ask whether the balance is sustainable. In the upright theme or upright position, it represents balance, adaptability, budgeting, prioritizing, managing responsibilities, flexibility, movement, and life adjustments. In the shadow theme or reverse position, it represents overwhelm, financial instability, avoidance, overcommitting, scattered energy, pretending everything is fine, and unstable routines. The lesson of this card indicates that balance is not about carrying everything forever. It's about knowing what needs your attention, what can wait, and what must be released. When the Two of Pentacles appear, ask, what am I juggling, and what needs to be simplified before I drop something important? The Three of Pentacles is a card of skill, teamwork, collaboration, learning, craftsmanship, and building something with support. This card often shows up when your work is being developed, refined, or recognized by others. It reminds us that not everything is built alone. Sometimes growth requires teachers, mentors, clients, co-workers, community, and other people who can see the value in what you are creating. In the upright theme or upright position, it represents teamwork, collaboration, skill building, craftsmanship, planning, learning, shared effort, and recognition for developing work. The shadow theme or reverse position represents poor teamwork, lack of support, refusing guidance, undervaluing your skill, conflict in collaboration, and unfinished foundations. The lesson in this card is that mastery grows through practice, humility, and the willingness to build with others when needed. When the Three of Pentacles appears, ask, where am I developing skill, and who can help me build this more wisely? The Four of Pentacles is the card of holding on. It can speak to saving money, protecting resources, guarding stability, and creating boundaries around what has already been earned. But this card, it has a very strong shadow. Sometimes we hold on because we are wise. Other times we hold on because we are afraid. The Four of Pentacles asks whether our security is healthy or fear-based. In the upright theme or upright position, it represents savings, financial boundaries, protection, stability, resource management, holding what matters, and preserving what has already been built. The shadow theme or reversed position represents scarcity mindset, fear of loss, greed, control, emotional shutdown, refusing to invest, and clinging too tightly. The lesson is that security is important, but fear can turn protection into a prison. When the Four of Pentacles appears, ask, am I protecting my stability or am I blocking growth because I'm afraid to release control? The Five of Pentacles is one of the heaviest cards in this suit. It can speak to hardship, financial stress, illness, rejection, lack, loneliness, and feeling unsupported. This card often appears when someone feels that they are outside of the warmth, outside of the help, and outside of the abundance in which they need. But this card also teaches us to look for available support. That help may be closer than it feels, but pride, shame, fear, and exhaustion may keep someone from reaching for it. The upright theme or upright position represents hardship, financial struggle, isolation, illness, insecurity, lack, feeling unsupported, and material stress. The shadow theme or reversed position represents victim mindset, refusal to seek help, shame around need, staying in survival mode, and believing that struggle is permanent. The lesson is that hardship is real, but isolation often makes it feel heavier. Support must be noticed, accepted, and asked for. When the Five of Pentacles appears, ask, where do I feel unsupported, and what help am I not allowing myself to receive? The Six of Pentacles is a card of giving, receiving, support, generosity, fairness, clarity, and energetic exchange. It often appears around money, gifts, loans, assistance, mentorship, or someone being in a position to help. This card asks us to look at the balance of exchange. Are you giving from generosity or obligation? Are you receiving with gratitude or guilt? Is help being offered freely, or is there a power dynamic attached? In the upright theme or upright position, it represents generosity, support, receiving help, giving wisely, fairness, charity, shared resources, and balanced exchange. In the shadow theme or reverse position, it represents unequal power dynamics, manifestation through giving, guilt, dependency, overgiving, inability to receive, and transactional kindness. The lesson of this card is that healthy exchange requires both giving and receiving, with clear intention and balanced power. When the Six of Pentacles appears, ask, where is support moving in my life, and is the exchange balanced and healthy? The Seven of Pentacles is the pause before the harvest. This card appears when effort has been made, but the results are still developing. It is the card of patience, assessment, waiting, investment, and long-term growth. This card can be frustrating because it does not always bring immediate reward. It asks you to look for what you have planted and decide whether it is still worth tending. In the upright theme or upright position, it represents patience, investment, long-term effort, evaluation, steady growth, waiting for results, and tending to the harvest. The shadow theme or reverse position represents impatience, frustration, wasted effort, poor planning, giving up too soon, and staying invested into something that is not growing. The lesson is not every result appears quickly. Wisdom is knowing when to keep tending and when to redirect your energy. When the Seven of Pentacles appears, ask, is this still worth my time, energy, and care, or am I tending to something that no longer grows? The Eight of Pentacles is the card of work, practice, discipline, study, repetition, and mastery. This is where we learn that skill does not appear magically. It is built through devotion. This card often appears when someone is learning a craft, building a business, improving their work, developing a routine, or committing to becoming better at something. In the upright theme or upright position, it represents dedication, practice, mastery, craftsmanship, learning, discipline, improvement, forced effort, and skill building. In the shadow theme or reverse position, it represents perfectionism, burnout, repetitive labor without purpose, overworking, undervaluing rest, and becoming consumed by productivity. The lesson is that mastery is built through consistent effort, but your worth is not measured by its output. When the Eight of Pentacles appears, ask, what am I willing to practice consistently, and where do I need to honor the progress instead of perfection? The Nine of Pentacles is the card of independence, self-sufficiency, earned comfort, personal success, refinement, and enjoying what has been built. This is not careless luxury. This is the reward of discipline, patience, and self-trust. This card often shows a person who has created stability for themselves and can enjoy the fruits of their labor. In the upright theme or upright position, it represents independence, self-sufficiency, prosperity, confidence, luxury, refinement, personal success, and enjoying the harvest. The shadow theme or reverse position represents isolation, material image over inner fulfillment, fear of depending on others, loneliness behind success, and defining worth through achievement. The lesson of this card is that true abundance is not only having enough, it's about being able to enjoy what you have built without losing yourself to the work. When the Nine of Pentacles appears, ask, where have I earned comfort? And am I allowing myself to enjoy it? The Ten of Pentacles is the card of legacy, family, long-term security, inheritance, tradition, generational wealth, and lasting foundations. This is the big picture card of endurance. It can speak of family systems, property, community, business legacy, long-term planning, and the structure that supports future generations. In the upright theme or upright position, it represents legacy, wealth, family, long-term security, inheritance, traditions, stability, community, and lasting success. The shadow theme or reverse position represents family pressure, generational burdens, materialism, staying in a tradition at the cost of truth, inherited wounds, and the fear of breaking patterns. The lesson of this card is that legacy not only is what you inherit, it is what you choose to continue, heal, build, or end. When the Ten of Pentacles appear, ask, what am I building that will last beyond the present moment? The Page of Pentacles is a student of the suit. This card represents curiosity, study, planning, new skills, and willingness to begin at the beginning. The page may not have mastered the material world just yet, but they are ready to learn. This card often appears around education, business ideas, financial planning, practical goals, and someone beginning to take their future seriously. The upright theme or upright position represents learning, study, planning, curiosity, new financial goals, practical beginnings, dedication, and grounded intention. The shadow theme or reverse position represents procrastination, lack of discipline, unrealistic planning, insecurity, fear of starting small, and dreaming without action. The lesson of this card teaches us that every master begins as a student. Small, practical steps matter. When the Page of Pentacles appear, ask yourself, what am I ready to learn, and what small steps will help me begin? The Knight of Pentacles is steady, loyal, patient, and committed. This is a card of slow progress, routine, responsibility, and dependable effort. The Knight does not rush, but they do not quit easily either. This card can be reassuring when consistency is needed. However, in the shadows, it can become stubborn, stagnant, and overly cautious. In the upright theme or upright position, it represents consistency, responsibility, loyalty, routine, patience, hard work, dependability, and long term effort. In the shadow theme or reverse position, it represents stagnation, stubbornness, fear of change, boredom, being overly cautious, slow movement, and resistance to risk. The lesson of this card is that consistency creates results, but stability should not become an excuse to avoid growth. When the Knight of Pentacles appears, ask, where do I need steady effort, and where have I become too comfortable staying still? The Queen of Pentacles is nurturing, abundant, grounded, resourceful, and deeply connected to home, body, and practical care. She knows how to create comfort, stability, and nourishment in the physical world. This card often represents someone who can care for others while also maintaining their own resources. But in shadow, she can overgive, overmother, and become exhausted from being everyone's source of stability. In the upright themes or upright positions, it represents nurturing, abundance, home, practical care, resourcefulness, comfort, embodiment, generosity, and grounded leadership. The shadow theme or reverse position represents overgiving, burnout, neglect, neglecting self, using care as control, financial anxiety, and feeling responsible for everyone. The lesson that this card teaches is that true nourishment includes yourself. You cannot be the foundation for everyone else while abandoning your own needs. So when the Queen of Pentacles appears, ask, how am I caring for my life, my body, my home, and my resources? The King of Pentacles represents mastery of the material world. This is leadership, business wisdom, financial stability, long-term success, protection, responsibility, and the ability to create structures that last. This card often appears around ownership, leadership, wealth, business, career achievement, and grounded authority. In shadow, however, the King of Pentacles can become controlling, materialistic, rigid, or overly focused on status. In the upright theme or upright position, it represents stability, leadership, wealth, business success, responsibility, protection, mastery, long-term planning, and grounded authority. In the shadow theme or reverse position, it represents control, greed, rigidity, materialism, status obsession, emotional distance, and the fear of losing power. The lesson that this card teaches is that true wealth is not only accumulation, it is wisdom, stewardship, and the ability to build without being ruled by what you own. When the King of Pentacles appears, ask, where am I being called to lead, protect, and manage my resources with wisdom? When pentacles show up in a reading, bring the message down to earth and ask practical questions. What is happening with money? What is happening with work? What is happening in the body? What is happening in the home? What habits are shaping this outcome? What is being built? What is being neglected? What needs patience? And what needs better management? The pentacles often show us where spiritual lessons are playing out through physical circumstances. A money issue may actually be a worth issue. A work issue may actually be a boundary issue. A health issue may ask for better care, rest, or consistency. A home issue may reveal whether someone feels safe, rooted, or supported. A delay may not mean failure. It may mean that the roots are still forming. This is what makes the pentacles so powerful. They show us the relationships between energy and evidence. They remind us that our lives are not only shaped by what we desire, but also by what we maintain. Before we leave the Suit of Pentacles, we have to come back to something very important, and that's everything lasting needs a foundation. The Pentacles reminds us that growth does not happen in empty space. It needs support, structure, care, time, and consistency. Whether we are talking about money, work, health, home, confidence, or spiritual practices, the foundation underneath of it matters. This suit asks us to look honestly at what we are building on. Is it stable? Is it realistic? Is it rooted in self-worth? Is it something that we can maintain over time? Because if the foundation is weak, the growth will struggle. But when the foundation is strong, what we create has a much better chance of lasting. As we close this class, remember that the Pentacles are not simply cards of money. They are the cards of embodiment, value, care, work, patience, and long-term creation. They teach us that the good life is not built in one dramatic moment. It is built through the choices we repeat, the care we return to, the resources we respect, the habits we refine, and the worth that we reclaim. For your homework, I want you to pull one pentacle card each day. Sit with it as your practical teacher. Ask yourself, what is this card showing me about my money, my body, my home, my work, my stability, and my sense of worth today? Don't just look for a prediction, look for a pattern, look for the lesson, look for the place in your life where this card is already speaking. You may want to journal about each card that you pull, about its theme or its meaning, and the practical action that you can take that day based upon its message. This helps you to move the pentacles out of vague symbolism and into real life, where this suit does its most powerful work. Because the pentacles do not deal in fantasy, they deal in what you can create, grow, protect, and sustain. And when you understand this suit, you begin to understand that the material world is not separate from your spiritual path. Your money, your work, your body, your home, your habits, and your relationship with worth are all part of your reading. Pentacles teach us how to build life that does not just look successful from the outside, but actually supports us from the inside. Now, in our next class, we will begin working with tarot spreads, learning how to lay the cards out with purpose, ask better questions, and read the relationship between the cards more confidently and clearly. So this week, please let the pentacles walk with you. Let them show you what is growing, what needs tending, and what you are ready to build next. I look forward to seeing you in the next class of this tarot series as we explore spreads.